Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on removing grouping symbols worksheet. So this video presents a worksheet where we are asked to remove grouping symbols from algebraic expressions. Now these are grouping symbols here. They look like brackets, aren't they? So they're either called grouping symbols or brackets. There are different names for them. Some people call them parentheses. There are just so many different names for them. So grouping symbols or brackets will do for these purposes. And basically, we're asked to remove those and just write down some separate terms where we do not see the brackets or the grouping symbols. Now, if you're not sure what to do, on the next slide there is a link. If you click on the link, it will take you to the lesson and it will explain how to do all the examples. So basically, the term outside is multiplied by each term inside. And then you write the two separate terms there. That's for that example. And it's exactly the same for the next two. The 6 is multiplied by each of the terms. You write the answers. And the same with this one. You also have to be very careful when you've got some different signs. For example, there's a plus sign here, and that's a minus sign. So you have to remember the rules which govern multiplication by the different signs. And we've done that in a previous lesson. Here's a negative sign out here, so that negative 4 is multiplied by each of those two terms. So if you remember the rule, you will put the correct sign in the answer. In these examples here, we're using the word expand, and we saw in the lesson that when we use the word expand, that means exactly the same as removing the grouping symbols. It's exactly the same thing. So the minus 7 is multiplied by each of those two terms. Same with the minus 6. And over here is the same. 7 is multiplied by each of those three. Exactly the same for each of those. They are just a little bit more involved, so you have to be very careful when some of the letters are repeated here. You just have to make sure you have the correct powers or the indices excuse me, for each of the terms. For the last one, when you have a minus sign by itself outside of the brackets or the grouping symbols, and you do not see a number, there is a very special number here which will allow you to remove the grouping symbols. And that's explained in the lesson if you need to go back and check. So this video presents a very simple worksheet where we can practice removing grouping symbols to end up with individual algebraic expressions. And we may also use the word expand to carry out this process, as we saw in the lesson. Don't forget about the link on the next slide if you need help to do any of these examples.